Hello, this is Sunny, and welcome to the 5th video in my Ethereum smart contract development tutorial series. I'd like to give a thanks to Blockchain Training Alliance and Finago. In this video, we're going to be looking at Node.js, which is a very useful package manager that we need to install a development framework called Truffle, which will make our smart contract development process a lot easier. Truffle will also let us test smart contracts on something called a localhost test RPC, which is basically an Ethereum blockchain running on your local machine. So the advantage of this is you don't have to wait for transactions to be mined onto, say, a real test network like the Ropsten or Rinkeby network, or even the mainnet. Having the Ethereum blockchain on your local machine lets you do stuff instantly. We're also going to be looking at the commands that you can use in Truffle. Here we have the Node.js page. As you can see, there are two versions of this. There's the LTS, which stands for long-term support, and the current version. Now you may be thinking, why would you not select the current version? Because it has the latest features. Well, the long-term support version will actually continue to have support for a much longer time than this current version will have. So it's actually recommended that you stick to the LTS version if you're going to be developing a project for a long time and collaborating with other people. So I went ahead and installed the LTS version on my machine. And here we have Truffle's site. And as you can see, it requires the npm command, which is Node Package Manager. So let's go into the command prompt, and I'll change into our ethvid directory that I made in the last video. And I'm going to go ahead and I already have Truffle installed, but if you don't, you would go ahead and run this command, npm install -g truffle. The -g indicates that you want to globally install it, so that way Truffle is available on whatever directory you choose to work on in your machine. So npm install -g truffle. Here's the documentation for Truffle. Again, you always want to reference the docs whenever you want to become really familiar with some sort of software, but we're not going to be going through the entire documentation in this series. Here we have something called Truffle Boxes, which are actually used if you want to kickstart a project. So we have like a pet shop, which would let you create a smart contract for a pet shop really quickly. So we successfully installed Truffle, and we can do truffle init to create a Truffle project in this directory. Unbox successful, sweet. So it shows us our Truffle commands here. We have compile, which will compile our entire project, migrate, and test, which will actually let us write different unit tests and integration tests to make sure our contract is working effectively. So let's go over to Atom, and you can see that Truffle init created some folders and files. So we have contracts, migrations, and tests, which is currently empty. The contracts will contain your contracts when you write them, and it also contains this migrations.sol. Here you go. The migrations folder contains this file, which is helpful for deployment. And there's nothing in the test file, or folder, excuse me, but we will write tests later on in this series. If we go back to our PowerShell, you can run Truffle Compile to get a feel for what it'll look like. It'll tell you that it's compiling your contract, and you can also run Truffle Test. And since we don't have any tests, it should say 0 passing, but like I said, later on in this series we will write tests, and once we have tests that pass successfully, it'll tell us. So there you go, using the test network and 0 passing. So that is a quick overview of installing Node.js Package Manager and the Truffle Development Framework,